the Detroit Red Wings are not done yet. Let's go over pretty much just a basic, bare bones kind of commentary, not really diving into the nitty-gritties of one specific topic, and mostly just going over the team encapsulated as a whole. Because recently, Steve Yzerman, the general manager of the Detroit Red Wings, Stevie Y himself, he went over onto NHL Network and did a nice little interview with them. That's kind of what we're going off of here today. So let's go over onto the score, because on the score there is an article talking about what exactly Yzerman said in this interview. So let's give it over to Brandon Marin to take things away as to what exactly the GM of the Red Wings has to say about this offseason. The title of the article reads this: "The Red Wings still have a lot of work to do." And that, indeed, is quite the case here. The article opens up by talking about how Stevie Y has done a nice job steering the rebuilding Red Wings into the right direction, but he knows he still has a lot of work to do. "Yeah, I think so," Yzerman said Wednesday on NHL Network when asked if he's happy with the direction of his team after its off-season additions. "Obviously, we have a lot of work to do. Now, every team feels good about their off-season, but the players that we've added, I think will help us out." And first off, I don't know if a lot of teams would actually say they're happy with their off-seasons, because some other teams, not going to name any in particular, but they kind of got cucked by a few other teams where they're trying to re-sign all their free agents they had. Oh man, I don't know if that specific team would say they had a good off-season. I don't know. That's just me bringing out the inner cynical Canucks fan to come out onto the microphone once again. But Steve Yzerman likes what he did. Hey, I like what they did too. The Red Wings are in a very good spot. The article then goes over a lot of the moves the Red Wings have made, and we've done our fair share of covering all this stuff. All the free agent acquisitions: John Merrill, Troy Stecher, Thomas Greiss, Bobby Ryan. You got some really nice pieces over there that can definitely help you out. You talk about the trade where you got Mark Stahl back as well, along with a second-round pick, so that's some very good asset management. You have yourselves the nice prospects you got at the draft. Obviously, that's not a big part of the next season's worth of play for the Red Wings, but hey, Lucas Raymond is looking to be very good, and he's a guy who definitely does have his beloved presence here in the Red Wings organization. But then you talk about the re-signings as well. Anthony Mantha, Tyler Bertuzzi, we made videos on both of those things, and Red Wings fans absolutely love the heck out of those deals. The Red Wings experienced a historically bad season last year, going 17-49-5, and finishing dead last in the league. Despite the tough campaign, Yzerman feels hopeful about the future thanks to the team's young stars and recent draft picks. Yes, indeed. Take a look at the quote here from Yzerman himself. "Our younger players performed well. You mentioned Tyler and Anthony and Dylan Larkin and Philip Hronek. Robbie Fabry did well coming over from St. Louis. So if we can slowly add to that group with maybe one or two younger players again this year and keep adding to that group slowly over time, we're hopeful as some of these younger players that the Red Wings have drafted over the last 2 to 3 years slowly move into the lineup and continue to try improving the team slowly each year." Then they do mention Raymond, Seider, Zadina, Rasmussen. Ooh, you love to see it. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about what Steve Yzerman was alluding to, I guess. And this is all my own speculation here, my own personal opinion. Actually, it's not even really an opinion, it's just surveying the options here. Because Yzerman did say that the Red Wings are not done, they still have more things to do, and, going into the long-term future, there definitely is a whole bunch of other stuff to do. Asset management does not take place in one summer alone. It's an ever-evolving process. But the way the Red Wings are right now, if they wanted to do some moves, they could. They could go out there and sign some of the remaining free agents. Take a look at some of the top ones available. Mike Hoffman, at the time of this recording, is still a free agent. The Red Wings have $9 million in cap space. If you really wanted to, you could sign Mike Hoffman. You want to go out there, sign Mikael Granlund? Hey, you can do that too. You want to go out there and sign Anthony Duclair? You could do all that too. Andreas Athanasiou, bring this guy back if you want to. Bring back several of these guys, and not just one. You have so much money to burn here that if you wanted, which I'm not saying it's the right move, if you wanted to do it, you could. You could also go the trade route. We saw a whole bunch of other players out there. Tyler Johnson's name specifically, which we're going to make a video about that tomorrow because that's a very interesting topic in its own right, as a guy whom the Tampa Bay Lightning are probably going to start shopping around in the next few days. So if the Red Wings wanted to do Brisebois a favor, Steve Yzerman hits up the Lightning and says, "Hey guys, I built your team that went to the finals, right? Yeah, guys, do me a favor. Give me a second-round pick. I'll take on that Tyler Johnson contract, eh? How does that sound?" He could totally do that if he wanted to. Not saying it's the right move, again, but you could do it. And going into the short term, there are so many other moves that you could just pull out of other teams. The Maple Leafs are in a spot where they're over the salary cap. So are the Vancouver Canucks. You go over to Cap Friendly, take a look at some of these teams that are over here. Take a look at this beefy, juicy red list. Arizona, Tampa Bay, Vancouver, St. Louis, Toronto, Edmonton, Washington, Vegas, Anaheim, and Winnipeg are all over the cap. And I'll admit, my first reaction is, how the heck is Anaheim over the cap? That's a team that's a bottom-dwelling team. That's a bad team. How in the world is a team that's one of the rebuilders of the league down there over the cap? That's really incredible. But I will say that just because they're over the cap does not mean they need to make a trade. Obviously, that isn't the be-all and end-all. You can send somebody to LTIR. You can make a trade for a guy who is injured. Send him on LTIR because it extends the amount of cap space that you have. So there certainly are options. But the big one for the Red Wings, if they wanted to take advantage of that cap space in the short term, it does exist. Honestly, for the next few weeks, while the NHL is in this downtime where we still don't know what's going on, and while teams are waiting to actually get things done, and once the NHL comes back and it's confirmed, I think that's when we're going to see the NHL GMs start making moves and signing players and all that. I think that the rest of this period until the start of the 2020-2021 season is going to be a Detroit Red Wings feeding ground. This is Steve Yzerman's playground here, guys, where you can just go over and just take a look at any team and say, hey, man, you want to give us a second? We'll take on some of that big money for you. Or just go out there and cuck the entire league. Hey, Mike Hoffman, come here, $7 million 1 year. Take it or leave it. He comes over, has a 30-goal season, then he gets traded at the deadline with 50% retained for a second and a third. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Textbook pump and dump right there for the Detroit Red Wings if they wanted to do it. And next year, if you guys still have all that cap space remaining, which you probably should, I mean, it's going to be difficult to blow $9 million into a long-term future when you have $9 million just laying around here now. You have Lucas Raymond coming over. Philip Zadina's going to be in his, second or third full year in the NHL. Sider will probably be on the team too. 2021, 2022 is going to be a very good year for Red Wings fans because everybody who is good and that we expect to be on the team is going to be on the team. I can't wait to see a first line of Raymond, Zadina, Larkin. Have themselves on the first power play with Sider and Hronek on there too. Ooh, that sounds awesome. I'm kind of just sitting here thinking about the long-term future because the Red Wings have so many options that they could do now that could really set them up for that long-term future, whether that's the free agency or the trades. Yzerman has a playground here, and he said it himself, man. They're not done. They have some other stuff to do. Whether that's in the short term or the long term, this team, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do now. So, talk to me in the comments what you think. Again, I said at the beginning, this is just a very basic, bare bones kind of commentary. We didn't get too deep into this one like we did with the Chalowski video a few days ago because I think we went too deep with that one. But, we're just kind of rounding things out here nicely for the Red Wings fans who have been sticking around. So if you have been, I thank you so much for that. And for any of the other people who also watch these videos but are not Red Wings fans specifically. So, talk to me in the comments what you think about Steve Yzerman's comments over here. And what do you think the Red Wings should do? In my opinion, whatever you do, just get prospects, just get picks. Put yourself in a position to get more assets and acquire those players. Because the long-term future of this Red Wings team, that's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, man. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. But tell me in the comments what you see. I hope you enjoyed this video. That Trolls 99. And bye.